Welcome to another demo with Tjhoko Paint and the versatilities, and I must be honest with you, lockdown has got many challenges and there's a lot of anxiety in our house, not about lockdown as such, but about the request on this Facebook page of what I need to paint next. My husband is so anxious, he wants to know, what did they ask? What are you going to paint? Where are you going to paint it? So yesterday, he was in a very hectic, intensive Zoom meeting, and from the facade of our house, I sent him pictures of how I was busy recreating the front of our house. And he just said, what are you doing? What colors are you using? He didn't like one specific color I chose, so he had to repaint it himself last night in the dark because I refused. I was done painting last night. I have a suggestion. Next week, Tuesday, I'm going to take you through a tour of my house because I now need some time to actually clean my house because I've been busy painting non-stop. So family, this is a nice challenge for all of you. Monday, we will actually clean the house and I won't be painting. Welcome. I'm going to hopefully inspire you to do amazing things during this time. I hope you all still have some paint left. For the technique I'm starting with today, you actually need so little paint. And then you can create something very special for your Easter, either lunch or supper or dinner, whatever you are doing for Easter. Make it special and enjoy tomorrow, but we're going to focus on that later. I'm going to show you how easy it is to work with Tjhoko on fabrics. Now, the main tip I always give to clients is to make sure the fabrics you're working on is natural fabrics. Synthetic fabrics don't allow the paint to grip, and then if you hand wash it, you will see the paint comes out. So very important, natural fabrics. Denim works well. Tommy tackies, you can paint them, do different designs on them. Your pillowcases. My husband has the tendency to, every time I decide to put a new tablecloth on our table setting, he knocks a glass of red wine onto the new tablecloth. So I have come up with this idea to hide all the wine stains on my tablecloths by stenciling with Tjhoko. Now, what you do is just make sure the fabric is clean, no preparation is required. Once you are done stenciling, like I've done here, and the paint is dry, you will iron it on the back on number 2 heat on your iron, and when you wash it, hand wash in cold water. We stencil our shirts for expos, our denims. We've done a beautiful shoot for the Ideas magazine late last year. I think it was in the March-April issue of the Ideas magazine, where we stenciled children's shirts in the new John's Joy bright yellow color. Hand wash cold water. You need to go have a look on our Tjhoko Creations page on our website. Website address is on all the bottles. The website is filled with beautiful inspirations and easy DIY projects. Now let's get going. So I've opened, and this is very exciting. Some of the new colors that we are launching after lockdown. They are vibrant and beautiful and just a new fresh look. So there are various ways of applying your stencil work. I'm going to share with you as much as possible. The first will be, and now this is on fabrics, like I said, t-shirts, your pillowcases. Look here behind me are some pillowcases, more neutral colors that I've used. And there's some napkins that we've stenciled. So you can decide what colors you want to use. And then if you want to just create, this is now a nice big design. With smaller designs, this is more difficult. Then you actually need very small stencil brushes. I'll show you on the napkin what I recommend for smaller designs. And then you can decide to just stencil certain patterns, certain colors. So what I've done is I've dipped my paintbrush in my paint, removed the excess on a kitchen towel, paper towel, and move in circular directions. With my free hand, I secure the stencil. And what I've also done is I've secured the stencil with masking tape on the sides. So what the masking tape does, it gives you a larger surface to work on, and it also prevents your stencil from moving. Every paint color has its own stencil brush. So I dip my stencil brush in the paint, use my paper towel, newspaper, I just don't have any newspaper left. Remove the excess, move in circular motion, secure with my free hand, and this is how easy it is. On our website, on the Tjhoko Creations page, we stenciled curtains. Oh, I love all the answers you've given yesterday with the guessing game we played on Facebook. Well done. Yeah, you can stencil. You can definitely stencil curtains. Also important, make sure it's natural fabrics. I'm going on Tuesday, when I'm taking you through a tour in my house, I'm going to show you how I've stenciled on my own curtains. Beautiful, new, fresh look. And now move to the next color. This is Asgard. This is a chartreuse green. Look how stunning. Marina, this was your suggestion, and I just love this color. Last year, we also asked clients, you on Facebook, what colors you want to see in the Tjhoko range. So we have included a coral pink, an aubergine, purple, a chartreuse. There are so many new, funky and stunning colors in the Tjhoko range. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start a section on the new design on my stencil, but I'm not completing it solid as I have done here. So I'm just stenciling a section, and this is how to create like a blended effect with your stencil work. And I'm now going to move to a next color. Naya's new, a nice teal color, dark warm teal color. And what I do is I just continue where I've stopped with Asgard over there. We had a nice interview with Vickers and the Thousand Home TV channel last night on Facebook. Mignon did post it for us on all the Facebook pages, so have a look. Can you see I'm only doing a section? I'm not completing it, and I'm moving to the next color. I'm not going to complete the entire table, the stencil design on that section. I'm going to remove it now so that you can see, and then I'll show you the rest that I've completed last night. I hope this makes sense. I only stencil a section and then let the two colors blend with each other. And now something you can also do, let's just do one more with a purple, and then we end it up there. I'm taking almonds, aubergine, and as mentioned earlier, all of these colors are named after people, either on the sites or in the factory. Holiday is working on the paint site. It's actually a person. Almond is a person. Asgard is named after Vickers, the editor of the Home magazine's dog. Very cute personality if you ever get the chance to meet him. Okay, I'm just finishing off here. Let's make this a bit darker. And the reveal will be just amazing. So your napkins, your pillowcases, if you need to give curtaining a new fresh life, just do it. And as you can see, it's quite quick and easy. Now if I want to just add some nice new here and there, let's do it here in between, on top of what I've just created. I can just stencil a different color, and let's add some asphalt over there. Just here on the edges. Purple is still wet, that's fine. And now we are ready for the reveal. So let's just do it. Let me do it this way. Okay, Kaylee, are you ready with the camera work on that side? And removing the stencil is actually the hardest part. Stuck to my black sheet. Let me just take it off. And voila. I will complete it, but there is some definite stencil work. There's some shadowing. There's where I've added the color on top. And now I will just continue with the rest. And let me show you the rest of the tablecloth. And well done with guessing that one right. Okay, so that section needs to be completed. Okay, can you see that on there? There's a section that's done. Is it visible? And then on this edge, I've just done that quarter, but with definite solid colors. And it is amazing. It's colorful, but you can use colors that you like. Now with this tablecloth, we are going to have a colorful Easter. So please go have a look on our YouTube channel. There's a beautiful Easter post that we have posted, Tjhoko Paint. I'll make a video later for those that don't know how to access our YouTube channel. But these are the dish up plates that I'm going to use actually as the underboards to have my breads, cheeses, fruit for Easter. And then we're going to dish up our cheese board from our cheese platter. We are going to use these handmade plates. So these will be our plates, and then I've sealed them with a clear glaze. The next step I'll be showing soon. And then you can rinse them underneath the tap and you can use them as dishing up boards. How amazing is that? Okay, next, very important is to paint on fabrics. If you want to paint on fabrics, it needs to be natural fabrics. If it is an upholstered surface, what we always recommend is to test somewhere maybe underneath first if you like the feel of the dry paint on an upholstered surface. Suede, for instance, changes to a more of a leathery feel. Velvet becomes hard. I personally don't like to paint onto a velvet surface, but something that works very well is faux leather, and I'm going to show you. So on our Tjhoko Creations page, you will see there's a video that we've made last year with a home channel. It's a TV room setting, and on that video I've actually showed step by step how to paint onto a suede surface. Very important is the stiffness of your upholstery. If there's a lot of movement in the foam, there will appear hairline cracks over a while on your surface because the paint can only stretch to a certain extent. This is now on an upholstered surface. Okay, so bear it in mind. Make sure if you want to paint upholstered surfaces that you test the feel of the dry paint first to see if you like it, and then make sure that it's stiffly upholstered. Not too much movement in your foam. Now to paint faux leather, also something that we've done last year for the Ideas magazine was to paint a red lazy boy, faux leather lazy boy, to create a Scandinavian look on the Tjhoko Creations page. When I arrived with that lazy boy at our factory, my husband said, "What the heck did you buy?" And I said, "Just wait, you're not going to believe this transformation." And the transformation is surreal, even more surreal than Corona. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, first with faux leather, you need to clean the faux leather well with lacquer thinners. So I'm going to show you how well, and this applies for wall tiles, for melamine kitchen cupboard doors. Your preparation with the cleaning needs to be done well. Make sure you wear a glove, that there's enough ventilation in your room. If you have any health issues, wear a mask or let someone else clean it for you. And I clean it well, because you know we have children in the house. This is at our breakfast nook. These chairs, Tjhoko, I forgot to tell you, we are painting our breakfast nook chairs. And I'm sure it was Lisa in the group that asked for that. So this is not my fault. Thanks, Lisa. Now I have the opportunity to give them new life. So on the areas here where they are damaged, the paint will go sit there, but it won't mend the faux leather, even there. So just bear that in mind. The paint will sit everywhere, but it won't do any mending work, but it will give it absolute new life. Now you wait for the thinners to evaporate. While we wait for the thinners to evaporate, I'm going to show you how to mix your clear glaze, and then we're going to start painting there. So the clear glaze, as mentioned during our live demo on Tuesday, our glazes are pure acrylic sealants. They are water-based. So what floor wax does, floor wax is an oil-based sealant, and it disintegrates, and you can't paint on top of floor wax. It's much better to use a water-based sealant, and the glaze is the perfect product for that use. So it makes your surface more washable, UV resistant and water resistant, and it's a concentrated sealant. So what I do, I have a measuring cup, but if you do this, you know you mix it perfectly. I mix 3 parts glaze. It's non-toxic, it's safe to use in children's bedrooms. And 1 part water. So 3 parts glaze, 1 part water, and then you take a sip of the water to feel less guilty about all the things you've eaten during this lockdown period. Downstairs, we will use a damp cloth and we will apply our clear glaze on the cupboard we've painted on Tuesday, so that I can show you the application. Okay, now we are going to start painting onto our faux leather surface. The correct drying time is 20 to 40 minutes. So don't start painting as soon as I'm doing now. The reason is, some areas, especially today, it's quite cloudy in Gauteng. It does take a bit longer to dry. I'm using the color Fine Lining. It's a soft duck egg color, so it's a good match between blue and green. Tjhoko, you will just love this, I promise. Tjhoko is just shaking his head. Okay, Hamilton's brush, shake my bottle, open the lid, and if I need to close it later, make sure you put either glad wrap or wax paper there just to make sure that you seal it tightly, that no air can get trapped inside your paint. And now what I do is I paint onto my faux leather. Make sure I reach all the crevices and grooves. Do the application nicely, evenly, and as I said and mentioned on Tuesday, this is the foundation for everything that's going to happen on top. So your first coat of paint is the crucial part. Make sure it's done evenly. And then every coat you will paint thereafter will be just as even. And this is how you do it. I will wait for my first coat to dry, and then I will apply my second coat, and I'll send you a picture later this afternoon of the finished product. Now with Tjhoko has a built-in sealant, so I won't even apply the clear glaze here. You will see it's as if Tjhoko adapts to the shininess of the faux leather, and it has a subtle satin finish once you are done painting. So with our lazy boy, and it's standing at the office, numerous clients have seen it, sat on it, felt it. You will just see that it has a beautiful finish and no sealant is required afterwards. The same if you paint onto suede. You simply just paint. Go watch the video on the Tjhoko Creations page. On the website, there's an option that says Tjhoko Creations. Okay, so this, to be continued. How beautiful is this color? And I'll send you the finishing product this afternoon. I've got 4 of them. I'm going to try my best to finish all 4 of them. Now I close my jar. My cellophane paper is still attached and whole. I dip my brush in water immediately. And then that's how you clean your paint brushes. We are now going to move downstairs with my glaze, and I'm going to show you how to do the glazing process. I just want to make sure that we've showed everything here. Let me show you the napkin. Kylie, kom terug. Go stand that side, Kylie. So let me quickly show this. Here's the smaller mandala design. Make sure you put masking tape around. I'm not going to do that now. And then we select a color. Let's go with this beautiful holiday coral. Remove the excess. I just so love to work on my hands. Secure it. Now look how little paint is in my brush. There's no blobs of paint. And then you know it's quite safe. I always test it on my hand first. And when it leaves streakiness like this behind, I know it's dry enough, especially with a small designs. You don't need more paint, you actually need less. Because then you can press harder, move in circular motion. How beautiful this will look on my Easter table as napkins. And this is a cheesecloth that I'm stenciling on. You can use even your kitchen towels and redesign them into napkins by just adding some stencil work. I'm just taking more from the kitchen towel, more paint from my kitchen towel. Not to waste anything. And then you can make different color mandalas on your napkins. And are you ready for the reveal? Look how beautiful that is. And if you want to create a shadow effect, you simply, let's take some orange aubergine and Laughing Lee. Lee is the person that most of you have met on email. And she's just amazing. Look at her most amazing green color. remove the excess, and I can get again from there, and I just brush the edge, and now I have something different again. And I remove, and look how amazing this is. Just want to get rid of that bristle. And there you go. So that's smaller, finer stencil work. And now I think we are done upstairs. We can go downstairs, glazing, brick wall, and then the pewter effect with the silver. Let's go do it, Kaylee. So here is the cupboard, and I'm just going to do it here. Is the light too dark? Is it fine? Can you see? Okay. So what I'm going to need, I have my glaze and water mixture. I have a clean, colorless cloth. Now this is mutton cloth. It's soft. I like to ask when I'm at the hardware store for A grade. And then I dip this in water. So I make sure I dampen it. The reason for the dampening of the cloth, it just allows the spreading of the glaze onto the surface to be smoother and easier. And what I do next is I squeeze it to remove any excess moisture. Very next important step is to fold your cloth again like a ball. I'm first going to dip it in my glaze mixture. Make sure that my cloth is absorbing all the glaze. Now here is something, you can wear gloves, and there are numerous clients that prefer wearing gloves. I personally just find it hard to work with a glove, especially when I glaze. What the glaze does, it creates like a skin on your skin if you don't wear gloves. And how to remove that? Immediately after, it's not toxic, so don't worry about anything. After you've used it, just rinse your hands in your water or remove it with soap and warm water. But easier is to wear gloves, and then you just remove the gloves. But personally, I can't work with gloves. I remove the excess glaze, not too wet, not too dry, so my cloth is rather nice and damp. And now, like the washing technique I've shown earlier this week, I fold my cloth like a ball in the palm of my hand. And what I do is I work in a well-lit space. Make sure there's enough light in your space. And now, Kaylee, you can maybe move closer. And I wipe the glaze onto my surface. I can see, working from here, that I touch all the areas. If streakiness occur, and mostly you only see streaks after the glaze is dry, simply just apply another coat. When I paint flower pots outside, I do not dilute my glaze, or I apply 3 coats of diluted glaze onto the flower pots. So I just make sure it's done evenly everywhere with my damp cloth. Make sure I can see where I've applied it. And now this makes your surface water resistant, UV resistant. Wool tiles, this is how you'll seal it. Important with a glaze, wait at least 4 hours before you start the application. If we do large big projects like kitchens for clients, we always allow the paint to dry overnight and only glaze it the next day. Then you know your paint has cured properly and the glaze won't remove any paint. And this is it. I make sure it's evenly everywhere, and my glazing and sealing is done. As I've said earlier the week, this wasn't necessary to glaze this cupboard. If you want more of a subtle satin finish, you glaze. Or if you want to create more of a satin finish, more satin than this is now, you can apply more than one coat glaze to lift the satin level. Now we are going outside. I hope this makes sense. Ask questions if anything is unclear, and we'll gladly assist. Just going to put this at the top. I can seal it and reuse it. So I've tried to select certain things that you have asked me to show you how to do. The next question that I'm answering, and I just want to rinse my hands, is on brick walls. How do I paint onto brick walls? And that is quite simple. I'm going to show you. It's so easy. Let me just get my glaze cloth for the glaze application here. What am I going to say? I've just lost a glaze cloth. Okay, never mind. We'll get one when we start there. So how do I paint onto a brick wall? Let me show you. I've selected the color Comfort's Blue. It's disappeared, Kaylee. That cloth disappeared. And what I'm going to do, my 15mm Hamilton's brush, I'm going to dip. Thank you, we found it, into my Comfort's Blue. Now remember Tuesday's tutorial, I said very important is to always first do cut lines. Now this is, for instance, a cut line. Here where I want to start creating my next color, I've applied masking tape between my painted wall and where I want to paint next. The same at the bottom where I don't want the paint to make marks on my tiles, and at the top at the cornices. That I've already done yesterday. Now I'm painting my cut lines. With Tjhoko you don't need a primer, and that's why I love it so much, because I don't need to wait for my husband to do something. I just do it myself. So the brick walls I've simply just washed off with water, waited for that to dry, and now I'm painting on them. And this is your cut line. Now on brick walls, there are various ways of doing it, depending on what you like. The first one is you can paint it solid, like I've done there, and then you can start washing on top, something that I definitely want to do here, and the final pictures I'll send later. Or on brick walls you can dry brush to create a whitewashed effect. Now let me show you. So the cut line, I hope you understand. So first you'll do cut lines. It's like coloring in a picture. Do the edges first and then you color on the inside, and I'll show you which tool works best for rough brick surfaces like this. A brush will take you forever. I'm going to give you a tip. Let's go to a different technique first. So dry brush is where you simply brush onto the brick wall, and this can be done with various colors. On our Tjhoko Creations page again, there are videos that show that, and you need to go look on our YouTube channel. The videos there are so informative and lovely, and it tells more about the people in the factory. You will love seeing it. See what our space looks like. So what I do is I dry brush, and then I wipe with a damp cloth, and this gives a very subtle change to the brick surface, but you can definitely see there's a change in color. Now this is one way of washing a brick wall. The other way is you mix paint and water together, and I'm going to do it with a damp cloth. So your cloth is very damp, you're adding paint to it, or you mix equal quantity paint and water together, use a damp cloth, and you wash onto your brick surfaces. If it's outside, you mix equal quantity paint and clear glaze together, and then you know you have a UV resistant washed effect on a brick wall in one single step. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. So different things that's possible with brick walls, and when we take that walk through my house next week Tuesday, and we're going to do it at 3 o'clock, I'll send a reminder, because the kids are actually starting school again on Tuesday, digital school, so they'll be busy 1:30 still with schoolwork. I'll show you in my house different rooms where I've done different techniques on brick wall surfaces. Okay, that is a promise. Now, to paint a brick wall surface, after you've done your cut lines, a very easy tool to use is Hamilton's Classic Roller. That's what it looks like, and this is what it looks like when it's open, and I have used it and just washed it last night. I'm going to show you how easy it is. So it has got long hair to reach in all the grooves and unevenness on the brick surface. So I'm using a paint tray. Comfort's Blue is the color I'm working with. Now, Comfy is our tinter in the factory, and she's been with us forever. And I always tell this story, but that was one of the most precious days in Tjhoko's history. We had an overseas customer visiting the factory, and I told everybody, quickly get your paint colors ready, because this client needs to go back over the water with your paint name. And they all scrambled in the factory, each one getting its paint color, but Comfy, being the tinter, she's tinting for everyone. So the customer already left the factory, went out the gate, and Comfy came running behind with Comfort's Blue in her hand, shouting, "Comfy is nog nie in die box nie." So yeah, I love her. She was a big part in my children's lives as well. Comfy, I hope you are safe. So what I do is I distribute Comfort's Blue or any Tjhoko color generously onto a classic roller, and this is now for brick wall surfaces, and you roll. I hope this answers the question on brick wall surfaces. And this is why you do cut lines. You just roll next to your cut line. This is a first coat. You always wait for your first coat to dry, and then you do your second coat. And if you want to reach in between the grooves, you can just take a paintbrush and reach in between them. And this is how easy it is. We are working downstairs and outside. I just want to make sure, is the Wi-Fi reception still good? Okay. Oh, and I can just continue. But this is how it's done. I hope it makes sense. Classic roller, cut lines, and then dry brushing if you want to create a washed effect, or equal quantities paint and water if you want to wash indoors, a brick wall, or outdoors, equal quantity paint and clear glaze to wash, to create a washed effect for outside. Next, we are going to show how to paint garden pots. This is so tricky. I'm just joking. This is the easiest thing ever. So what you need to do, make sure your garden pot is clean. You can use your lacquer thinners. If the pot has been painted previously, you simply wash it with water if there's a PVA on. Wash it with water, make sure it's dry, and then you start painting it. So I have painted Sheriff's Stone on this pot, allowed for it to dry, and there were questions about the metallic colors application. So I'm going to use shone silver on top of my Sheriff's Stone. Now this is an important tip. When working with metallic colors, it's important to have a dark base, because then you will see that the coverage is much more clear and solid. So the pigments for the metallic colors we import from Germany, so they're quite heavy and they tend to sit at the bottom, but this is also a water-based product. So what I do, it does come with a stirring stick, and I stir it very well. Also allow your base coat to dry properly. Just give it at least half an hour, 40 minutes, depending on weather. Make sure it's properly dry before you start with your metallic application. Now we have 3 metallic colors: Charm Silver, Alice Gold, and Am's Rose Gold. If you want to change, this is something that I've done. If you want to change the color of the rose gold to be more subtle, I add some of the silver into the rose gold to just make it a softer rose gold color. Don't mix normal paints into the metallic paints. The composition differs completely. Okay, I'm done mixing. Now I take a clean paint brush, dip it in my silver, my dark top, and I paint. Now for the home magazine, we created a pewter wardrobe late last year. It's also on the Tjhoko Creations page, and it's also one of the pictures that I've sent earlier today with the invite and the reminder. So this is one way of doing it. Painting it a solid color. This is your first coat. You will wait for your first coat to dry, and then you will start applying your second coat. If you want to do something else, something that I also love to do with the metallic colors, is to dry brush with them, because they just give that subtle bling, but it's very subtle to a surface. Unless you want to make it more visible, you just apply a thicker coat. But just look here. Okay, and can you see this? If I just dry brush my pot without putting a solid silver color on it, what can be created? Can you see it clearly, Kaylee? So this is dry brush for a garden pot. Well done for spotting those questions and answers correctly. So it depends on you. I'll finish this pot throughout the course of the day, and I'll send pictures as soon as all my paintwork is complete. Okay, then something that you can also do. If you have painted a solid second coat on your surface, you can create a pewter effect. Let me show you how. Kaylee, come sit this side again. So I have my antique glaze here. Now the antique glaze we mixed on Tuesday. So what I've done is I've added 30% sheriff stone to my antique glaze and my 30% water. Although I think the ratio was maybe more sheriff stone, remember you can tweak it. If you want more of a grey look and feel, you just add more sheriff stone or more matte black, depending on what you want to create. For a darker antique glaze, add matte black. For a lighter, more greyish effect, you add sheriff stone. I always say 30% sheriff stone or matte black. It's not on the instructions. And your 30% water. And then, sorry, let's just wait for that one to pass. I'm just going to rinse my cloth, my glaze cloth in water. Now this is the same cloth I used earlier for my glaze. I'm just rinsing it, washing it. Now I have my mixture here with my 30% sheriff stone, 30% water. So it was 30 milliliters sheriff stone, 30 milliliters water, and 100 mils of antique glaze. Remember, there are no rules. The only rules with Tjhoko is to clean properly with lacquer thinners before you start painting. I know this pot was painted with Tjhoko before and it was glaze, so I just washed it with water. and then I waited for it to dry, and then I painted. But something like varnish surfaces, your kitchen cupboard doors, melamine kitchen cupboard doors, wall tiles. It's very important to clean it, your faux leather like we've done today, with lacquer thinners, wait for it to dry and then start. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my cloth like a ball again. Remember our washed effect from Tuesday? Go watch that video under the Tuesday post if you have missed it. And I mix my antique glaze into my damp cloth. And now on my dry silver surface, again, very important, wait at least 4 hours before you do the glaze applications. I brush my antique glaze on top of my silver surface. And once this is dry, I will have like a pewter effect. And the reason why I'm saying dry is paint changes color as it dries. So it's very important to, before you decide to paint something, paint a small sample, allow for this sample to dry completely, see what the color looks like in different areas, because light plays a big role in the way that the color reflects and the way you see the color. So always important. And I've just realized again yesterday when I painted this wall sheriff stone and the walls behind Kaylee Vineyard stone, how important it is to test the color with different lights before you complete the entire surface. And that's it. And now I'm brushing. If I have any imperfections, dry brush with your silver on top to hide anything that you might feel is an imperfection. Say for instance you didn't like the darkness there, you can come with your silver brush and lightly, very lightly, just brush, dry brush on top to hide imperfections. Everything is water-based, so you have the freedom to play and manipulate until you are happy and satisfied with the results. And if you want to apply more antique glaze, you can also do that. And look how stunning this thing is changing. And that is from me. We've done stenciling on fabrics, we've done our faux leather, we've done our brick wall, we've done the silver, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with washed effects on my brick wall with different colors. I'm going to finish my pot with a nice, look how beautiful. It's as soon as it dries, you can actually see the changes. I'm going to finish my garden pot, and then I wish you all a very happy Easter. Enjoy the time with your families. Thank you so much for the support. It's been an amazing lockdown for me. I think if it wasn't for you, your support, your encouragement to paint things, it wouldn't be the same. Thank you, and thank you to everybody from the office. I hope you all are safe and are spending quality time with your families. Love and greetings to all. Bye-bye.